What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Drew Hooper, and today we'll be talking about the Cotton Bowl. That's right, we're finally going to be talking about the number 1 seed Alabama Crimson Tide facing off against number 4 and undefeated Cincinnati. That should be a good game. Can't wait to dive into this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click that subscribe button. Also, if you have any graphic design needs, Anthony Garcia is your man. His link is in the description below, www.anthonygarciadesign.com. Without further ado, let's get right into this. And I got to mention what Robert Griffin III said right after the college rankings came out, where he pretty much implied that maybe the committee had it against Cincinnati because they're the first team in their conference to ever make it to the playoffs, and the first team they have to face is, of all teams, Alabama. Which, let's fixate on Alabama for a second to see what Cincinnati has to face. Starting with Bryce Young, the Heisman winner. And, man, he's got the mobility of Jalen Hurts, but I feel like he has a better ability to throw deep down the field. I think better than Tua Tagovailoa, maybe better than Mac Jones. And so, with weapons like Jameson Williams and John Mechie, he was able to produce an offense that was 7th in the league with 347.9 yards a game, throwing 44 touchdowns through the air, and scoring 42.2 points a game. And really he solidified his Heisman win in that SEC championship game against Georgia, which we'll get to that defense of Georgia when we go through the Orange Bowl. But anyway, despite all that though, I will say Bryce Young was sacked 36 times this year, which honestly, it's uncharacteristic for an Alabama offensive line to allow that many sacks, especially when you consider one of their offensive line is Evan Neal, offensive tackle, potentially the number 1 offensive tackle taken in the 2022 NFL Draft. But that is exactly what's happened right there. Fortunately for Alabama, Cincinnati is not known for getting after the quarterback, only sacking the quarterback 20 times. However, I will say Cincinnati's defense has taken away the ball 29 times. So maybe if somehow, some way they can get Bryce Young to cause turnovers. But let's focus on Cincinnati's offense now. Starting with Desmond Ridder. And this is a guy that has got good size, got a good arm, got good mobility for his size. What really impresses me the most is his knowledge of the run-pass option, which Cincinnati runs a lot, and especially in the NFL, where a lot more teams like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles run that run-pass option. That, with that knowledge right that he has of there, it might intrigue a lot more teams to his style of play. He threw for 3,190 yards and 30 TDs. He was only sacked 19 times. However, he will face Alabama's defense, who was 3rd in the nation with 46 sacks, and they're led by Will Anderson Jr., the edge rusher from Alabama, and he's been compared to Derek Thomas, who, if you don't know him, was a former Alabama who went to the NFL, played with the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, it was cut short due to tragedy. But there's a lot of pressure on Desmond Ridder to make plays, and hopefully he doesn't have to, because he's got a running game with Jerome Ford. That run offense has rushed for over 180.9 yards a game and found the end zone 34 times. That's a good number. So they know how to find the end zone. Unfortunately, it might be a challenge considering the fact that Alabama's defense is 4th against the run. They have allowed 82.8 rushing yards a game, so that's going to be a challenge right there. I'm hoping that Alabama doesn't totally take away the running game, because if it does, it might be on Desmond Ridder, and I'm hoping that it doesn't cause him to turn over the ball, because they have given away the ball 18 times. 9 fumbles and 9 interceptions, which some of those fumbles were his. I think 3 of them were. So he's technically turned over the ball 11 times this season. So hopefully that's not the case. And like I said, that defense is going to have its, hands full with that Alabama offense. Even though it only allowed 16.1 yards a game, it hasn't faced an offense like Alabama's. And I think it's going to have an awakening just like Georgia did in that SEC championship game, which again, we'll get to that eventually. I want to say Cincinnati's going to make it tough, but I don't think it's going to be close. I think Alabama's going to win this definitively. Honestly, I think I'm going to call this 44-9, honestly. I don't think this is going to be a game that's going to keep you engaged. I think this is going to get out of hand with that offense, with Bryce Young. Like I said, I think that defense is really going to show its superiority and really cause Desmond Ridder to cause turnovers. And so I think Alabama wins and goes back to the national championship. And so this has been my analysis and prediction for the Cotton Bowl, which means you'll eventually hear my Orange Bowl analysis and prediction. Michigan versus Georgia, we'll get to that eventually, and some other bowl games as well. I'm your host, Drew Hoover, and have a good day, everybody.